Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mm,
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. Okay, in the last class, I explained about how to create the classes in packages and which class is the main class. The remaining classes doesn't have the main method. How to create the objects and how do you call the methods? Okay, from the main class of the any other class in the package. Okay, everything I explained in the previous class. Okay, in this class, I want to show the what is the anonymous object. Okay, anonymous object means, look here. Okay, here this is the hello class. Okay, this is the hello class. This hello class having only one method, that is display. Okay, that is display. I want to call that method. The display method I want to call. Okay, now this is also public class. Okay, fine. I will go to main method, main class. Okay, now I will go to main class. Okay, create the object for hello class. Hello h is equal to new hello. Object has created. Okay, what's the name of the object here? What's the name of the object? H. Okay, H is the name of the object. Okay, now I will call how many methods in the hello class? How many methods in the hello class? Only one method, that is display. Only one method, that is display. Okay, now I'll call the display method. Okay, now I'll call that display method. Okay, by using the object. By using the object. Okay, what's the output? Hello world. What's the output? Hello world. Okay, now coming to here, I will run this program. How many times I call the display method? Only once. Okay, how many times hello world is printed? Only once. Suppose I have to call the same method once again. Any problem? No problem. You will call the same method once again also. You have to call number of times. It's not a problem. Okay, it's not a problem. Once again I will call h dot display. Here, what's the name of the object? H is the name of the object. Okay, H is the name of the object. Now I'll run this program 3 times. Repeatedly, I call the display method. Repeatedly, I call the display method. Hello world has displayed 3 times. Okay, suppose now my question is, I want to call only once the display method. I want to call only once the display method. Okay, no need to call once again. At the same time, suppose if hello class does I don't want to call in any other method, but here we have only one method in the hello class. Okay, only have the one method here. Okay, there is no one more method. Okay, suppose if you have one more method, I don't want to call that method. At an instance, at an instant, okay, I will call only the display method from the hello class. Only one method, only once. No more method I don't want to call if I have. I don't want to call. Okay, the same method I don't want to call once again. That means that is the only single operation. Okay, that is the single operation. At that situation, no need of named object. Okay, at that situation, no need of no named object. Okay, now you will write what is the anonymous object means new class name dot which method you will call. That's it. Here, what's the name of the object? No name for object. object has created without name. That's why that is called as anonymous object. Okay, that's why that is called as anonymous object. Okay, that is called as anonymous object. Okay, no name for this object. Object has created in the memory. Object has allocated, but no name for that object. Okay, no name for that object. Okay, in the suppose in C also structure pointer. Structure pointer means the structure memory has allocated. The starting byte address is stored in the pointer variable. What is the name of the structure variable? There is no name for the structure variable. Okay, in C language you will write the statement P is equal to, in C language you will write it P is equal to, P is the structure pointer, P is equal to malloc of size of struct node, okay, size of struct node. Okay, that is malloc of size of struct node. That means the size of struct node. What is the size of the structure node structure? That much number of bytes are allocated by malloc. The starting byte is address. The starting byte address is stored in the pointer variable. What is the name of the structure node here? The variable struct node variable. No name for that is anonymous. Anonymous, that is the structure variable. No name for the structure variable. The same concept here itself. New hello.display. Object has created without name. Any name for that object? No name for that object. Simply that is an object. In that object having the display method. Okay, in that object having the display method. Simply we call that method. Okay, simply we call that method new hello.display. Suppose if you want to call once again, you will write it, no problem. But here have some disadvantages. Okay, once you have to create the anonymous object, what are the terms and conditions? From the class, you can access only one method, only once. No other method can access. No other method. If that class having more than one method, those methods cannot be. Only one method you have to access at an instant time. I need only that method. No other method I want to access. No other method I want to access only that method. Okay, only that method only once. No other method I will access. In such a situation, you have to write the anonymous class. But here, new hello dot display. Display method is calling with anonymous object. Object is created here. Once again, one more object has created to call the display. From two different objects, call the display method. From two different objects, calling the display method. In this previous example, H is the single object. H is the single object of hello class. I will call the display method number of times. Okay, how many objects are created in the previous example? Only one object. Here the same thing you have to do. How many objects are calling? How many objects are created? Three objects you have to create. Okay, this is in such a situation you don't apply the anonymous objects. Okay, anonymous objects. When do you apply the anonymous object is very clear. What are the terms? What are the rules for first one? From the class you can access only one method. From the class you can access only one method at once. I don't call some other methods. I don't call once again the same method. I don't call same method once again. In those situations only you can create the anonymous object. Anonymous object means that the object doesn't have the name. That object doesn't have the name. That is called as anonymous object. Okay, that is called as anonymous object. Okay, now come to Okay, here this is the student class. Okay, having the parameters. Okay, having the parameters. Okay, in the previous example, the last class I said that without arguments, the method without arguments. What are the concepts in C language? Every concept is also applicable here except structures and pointers. Except structures and functions are also. The C function is called as method here. How many types of functions available in C language? How many ways you can declare? 4 types. Without return type, without arguments. Without return type, with arguments. With return type, without arguments. With return type, with arguments. 4 types of. Okay, this is what kind of without return type, that is void with arguments. Okay, with arguments. This is the method in which class? Student class. Okay, this is the method in the student class. GetData is the method. Okay, how many arguments here? 2 arguments. The first argument is the x, the second argument is the string object. Okay, the second argument is the string object. Whenever you need to call that method, okay, whenever you need to call that method, getData method, you have to give 2 arguments. The first argument is integer argument, the second argument is the string argument. From where you have to call? From the main method. Okay, from where you have to call the getData method? From the main method. That is from some other class. Okay, now we'll go to main class, creating the object for student class. Student S1 is equal to new student. Student S1 is equal to new student. Okay, now we'll call getData. What kind of method it is? Okay, look here. Whenever I can type the getData, the prototype of what kind of method it is as displayed. GetData, the first argument is the integer argument. Okay, the first argument is the integer argument. Okay, now we'll give final one is the first argument. Okay, second argument is the string argument. Second argument is a string argument. Okay, here I will give something. Okay, here these two are called as actual arguments. Actual arguments are sometimes values, actual arguments are sometimes variables also. Here I follow values. Okay, here I follow values. Okay, have one more object. It is S2. Suppose now I will call the getData from S2 object. Okay, the first argument is integer argument. The second argument is string argument. Okay, the second argument is string argument. Okay, this is the getData in which object? S2 object. This is the getData in which object? S1 object. Now, after executing this S1 dot getData and S2 dot getData, what is the state of the S1? What is the state? What is the data? The data representation, the data, what is the data in the object is called as state of the object. Once it is executed, S1 dot getData of 501 and Sanjana, what is the state of S1 after S2 dot getData of 502 Sriram? What is the state of S1? What is the state of S2? What is the state of S1? What is the state of S2? Gangotri, what
Sir,
is
S
S1?
501
501, 501 and Sanjana is the state of the S1 and
S1
502 and Sriram is the state of the S2. Okay, S2. Okay, now at the same time we'll call the S1 dot display also. S2 dot display. Okay, S2 dot display. Whenever I call the S1 dot getData, okay, in which object the getData method is calling? From which object? That is S1 object. S1 object having the ID, name, getData and display. At the same time, S2 object also having the ID, name. S1 object has here S1 and S2 are the objects of student class means the entire student class, all are available in S1 and also S2. Both are the objects of student class. Okay, both are the objects of student class. Whenever I call the get data S1 dot get data, it will goes to identity. Okay, S1 dot get data means which get data has executed. S1 dot get data means which here we have the S1 and S2, two get data are there. S1 dot get data means which get data has executed. Which get data has
S1 Sanjana.
S1 object get data has executed. S2 dot get data means which get data has executed. S2 dot, that means S2 object get data has executed. Okay, S2 dot get data has executed. You should have the clarity which object, what is the state of the object. S1 state is different, S2 state is different. But S2 having the same kind of method, same kind of data, same kind of instances, S2 also having the same kind of instances and same kind of methods. But what is the difference here? The data is the difference. That is called a state of the object. S1 dot get data means what is the identity here? S1 dot get data means it is executed in the object S1. It is executed in the object S1. Okay, everyone having the roll number here. I will ask what is the roll number of, suppose Gangotri. Okay, she will give the answer 532. That is the state of the object. Gangotri state of the object. The roll number itself is the instance. That is the instance of the Gangotri. At the same time, I can ask what is your roll number for what is your roll number of another student. Sure, she will give the answer. Definitely, she did not. She will give the my roll number is also 532. No, definitely she did not give. What is the reason means 532 is the unique. Okay, 532 is the unique. That is unique identity. S1 dot get data means the get data method is executed in the object S1. That is identity. S2 dot get data means the get data method is executed in the S2 object. Both objects are having the get data and get data. Now, how can you differentiate okay these two with the help of data? The data has different. Sometimes the data also same. Okay, sometimes suppose two students are having the same name. Okay, now whenever you call the S1 dot get data, come to S1 object. Okay, come to S1 object. That is, suppose here I will write it. This is the S1 object. S1 object having the get data that 501 has copied into form argument X. That is, Sanjana has copied into form argument str. Now these two values are assigned to instances. These two are the instances. These two are not at all instances. In text comma string str is not at all instances. What is an instance? That is inside the class but outside the method. Outside the method. Here x and str are also inside the class but not outside the method. But not outside the method. These two are the parameters. Okay, these two are the arguments of the get data. Whenever you need to call, then only the get data, the x and the str can be allocated. Before that, no x and no str. Once object has created, no x and str in the object. Which are available in the object? ID and name are available in the object. Name and ID are available in the object, but not x and str. X and str has to be activated whenever you need to call the get data. Whenever you need to call the get data. Suppose in S1 object, okay, what's the x value? S1 dot get data. The first argument is 501, str is equal to Sanjana. Now come to execution. ID. ID is an instance. ID is an instance. The parameter has assigned to instance. Which is the parameter x? What is the x value? 501. What is the x value? 501. Means for S1 object, 501 is the what is the ID value? ID is equal to 501. Okay, what is the name? Name is equal to Sanjana. In which object? S1 object. Okay, in S1 object. Okay, it returns from object S1 get data to main function. That means the first function has the first method calling is over. Next, s2 dot get data of 502 and Sriram. Okay, this is the get data in which class, which object, s2. Then you will go to main, sorry, student.java. Okay, now what is the object? s2. In the s object, what is the x value? That is 502. What is the str value? That is Sriram. Okay, that is Sriram. Now, what is the ID here in the s2 object? Okay, s2 object, that is s2 dot id is equal to 502. Okay, this is s1 dot id. Okay, s1 dot id. This is s1 dot name. Okay, this one s2 dot name. What is the s2 dot name here? Sriram. Okay, s2 dot name is Sriram. Okay, both objects are initialized. S1 is initialized with 501 and S1 is initialized with 501 and Sanjana. S2 has initialized with 502 and Sriram. Okay, 502 and Sriram. Next, we will call the what is the next statement in the main method? S1 dot display. Which display will go? In which display? S1 object display. Now we'll go to student class. Okay, this is the come to here display in which object s1 object. What is the value of id in the s1 object? 501. What is the value of name in the s1 object? Sanjana. Okay, these two are displayed. Okay, next, what is the next method? Okay, s2 dot display. We will go to object s2 display method. Okay, now what is the value of id in the s2 object? That is 502. Okay, what's the value of name in the s2 object? That is 0. Okay, that is Sriram. Now we can execute the main class. Okay, these are the values. ID is equal to 501 of S1 object, S2 object ID is 502, S1 object name is Sanjana, S2 object name is Sriram. Okay, here come to the here instead of to give the values 501 and Sanjana, you will get the variables also. At that situation, you need the scanner class. Import java dot util dot start. Take the input at runtime. Create the scanner class object. Scanner s is equal to new scanner of system dot in. New scanner of system dot in. Okay, now we can read the system dot out dot println enter id and name of first object. Okay, now we can read it. The id means okay, we'll take two variables. Index and string str. Okay, index and string str. I will take the two variables. Now I can assign. Here I can assign x is equal to x is equal to okay, enter that is s dot next int s dot next int. Okay, here the new concept. One more new concept has arisen here. Okay, what is that concept? Look here. Why the x is shown as red line? Why the x is shown as red line? Means here x is not a static variable. X is not a static variable. These all are normal variables. Okay, but main method is a static method. Okay, main method is a static method. In a static method, what kind of data you have to access, what kind of methods you have to call directly without objects. I'm saying, I'm telling without objects. With objects you will call whatever. That's not a problem. In the previous case, main class having the main object ID and str ID and name. There you can access. That is m dot id m dot name. M is an object. Here, these two are the normal variables. Okay, there is no object for main class. Okay, here I call the S means yes, main is the static block, X is not a static. In a static block, okay, in a static method, you have to access only the static data. Okay, you have to access only the static data, that's all. But here I, X and str is not a, okay, is not a static data. Okay, is not a static members. Now I will write it str is equal to, we'll get the same error. Str is equal to s dot next. S dot next. Okay, x and str shown the red lines because of these two are not static. Whenever I will write the static here, okay, the error has removed. If there is no static here, all of you observe. If there is no static here, x is shown red line. Okay, whenever I can write this here, this is the static. Okay, red line has removed. Okay, now whenever it is also static, you have to observe whenever I can type static space, automatically the red line below the str can remove. Not as next. This is next. No error. Suppose if there is no static here, okay, here have the str. Str is in, okay, cannot make a static reference to the non-static field, sir. Field str. Okay, cannot make a static reference to the non-static field. Which is the static reference to the non-static field str? Which is the static reference here? Main is the static reference. Okay, because of that's not a non-static method. Main is a static method. Okay, here str is not a static. Okay, str is not a static. Whenever I can type static there, please observe. Okay, automatically the red line has removed. That means in the static class, in a static method, not only in main method, in static method, what kind of data has allowed? Only the static data. Okay, understand. Suppose if I can create the object here, main class object, by the main class object I will call instances. That's not a problem. But directly you cannot call, you cannot access. Static method, static variables directly you can access. Okay, static variables directly you can access in the static methods. These two are the static instances now in main class, but there is no object. Suppose if you have an object for main class, you will get error. You did not call. Suppose I will write here. Please observe very clear. Suppose I will create the object for main class, new main. Okay, now I'll write it m dot. What is the first one? ID is equal to. Suppose I will write 501. Okay, now ID shows. This is an error. ID is have the ID have the red line, red underline. Okay, why? Because ID is a static, sorry, not ID, this is the X. Okay, X also it shows red line. 1 minute. Good. Search up సార్ ఇప్పుడు పర్వాలేదు సార్ ఏమో సార్ నాకు కూడా నేను కొత్తగా సార్ వచ్చాను. ఆ, ఆయన నేను ఫస్ట్ వస్తాను సార్ ఇక్కడ. అవును సార్. ఓకే సార్, ఓకే సార్. Okay, this is the static. Okay, I will tell you later this concept. Look here, these two are the static only. X and str are these two are static only. You can access. Okay, you can access within the main section because of main is also static reference. That is the static method. In the static method, directly you can access only the static method, static data. Only the static data. Okay, understand? Next one. Okay, if it is not a static, automatically will get the error. Okay, that means these two are not at all static. You cannot access x and str here. Okay, x and str here. Now we can run this program. Here 501 and okay, for second one, sorry, it's not completed. This is x. Instead of Sanjana, we'll call str. Okay, what is the x value here? Suppose now the same. Once again, I will call str. Here, this is x and str. Okay, this is x and str. Okay, now I can run this program. At runtime, I will give the values. First, enter ID and name 501 Sanjana and 502 0. One thing here. Suppose while reading Sri Ram, here s dot next. Once you can give the space here, after space that whatever the string, it cannot be considered. Okay, it cannot be considered. That's the some you have to keep in mind. Next method can read up to space only. Whenever in the input have the space, the next method can return. Next method can return. What is the input given here? Sri Ram. Sri space Ram. But what is the output I get here? Only the Sri. Okay, only the Sri. Now here, come to the S1 dot get data. Instead of 501 and Sanjana, here I give the values. Okay, here I give the variables. Instead of values, I will give the, I read the values and I give the variable names. What is the x here? X is, the x has copied into form augment x. The str has copied into form augment str. Okay, form augment str. Both names are same, no problem. Okay, both names are same. Here x and str in the student.java also, that is x and str. That's not a problem. These two are as per the scope and visibility. The scope of the variables are in two different methods with the same name. It's possible. Okay, two families having the same name. In the same family, the same name cannot be accepted for two persons. Okay, two different method, two different classes. That is main class. This is the which class? This one. This is the student class. Here having the x and in the get data method having the x and str. In the main method also having the x and str. That's not a problem. Actual arguments are copied into formal arguments. Okay, now that x, suppose I will give the x there 501, that x is copied into x here, that str is Sanjana, that str has copied into this str. That's it. For S2 also same. Okay, for S2 also same. Okay, now the next one, suppose here I have the one object S1 has initialized. Okay, S1 has initialized with X and str. Okay, that is S1 dot get data. Okay, S1 dot get data. Now I have to write one more method in the student class. Okay, that is, can I write with the same get data? One more method. Can I write already student class having the get data with two parameterized? The first parameter is X, the second parameter is string str. Once again here, okay, I written the same. Here I write the same void get data. Any error has shown here? Any error has shown here?
No, sir.
Here have the get data with two parameters. Here get data with no parameters. This is called as method overloading. The same name can be used for two different purposes. Okay, the same name can be used for two different purposes. This is called as method overloading. Okay, this is called as method overloading. Okay, understand? Now, this is the get data. I don't have any parameters. I will tell you later what is the method of overloading. Okay, here id is equal to 501. id is equal to 502. Directly I will give the values. Okay, next name is equal to Sriram. Okay, name is equal to Sriram. These two are, one is set with, okay, the first get data, S1 object get data, I called with, okay, that is with two parameters. Okay, this is the S1 object is called with, get data is called in the S1 object with two parameterizer constructor. So two parameterized method. The first one is X, the second one is the str. Okay, now I will call the get data with S2 object. That is no parameterized. Okay, no parameterized. S2, the get data in the object S2, the get data is called what kind of get data? No parameters get data is called here. In the S1 object, what kind of get data is called? Two parameters get data is called. Any error here? No error. At the same time, S1 having the, okay, S1 having the, what kind of constructor? Suppose now S1 object having the, what are the things available S1, S2? S1 object having the ID and name, void get data to parameterize, void display and void get data no parameterize. Three methods and two instances and in each and every object. Okay, here I call using S1, I call only the two parameterized constructor, two parameterized method, but not one parameterized method. Suppose if you want to call, no problem, we will call it. Okay, understand, the data has replaced. Suppose look here. Okay, before going to S2 dot get data, okay, I'll write it S1 dot get data. S1 dot get data. S1 also has the get data because of the class itself having the get data. Okay, now first we will call S1 dot get data. What are the values here? X is equal to, suppose I will give 501 and Sanjana. Okay, in the S1 object, ID is equal to 501 and Sanjana. Now S1 dot get data, this is the no parameter. So come to no parameter as a construct. No parameter as a method. ID is equal to 502, name is equal to 0. Before that, what is the ID? This is the 501 in the S1 object, name is equal to Sanjana. Now these two values are replaced with 502 and 0. 502 and Sriram. The same get data method is calling. The get data method is calling two times. One kind of, one is two parameterized method, another one is no parameterized method. In the no already with one two parameterized method, the values are set by ID and name. Set to the ID and name. Once again, I have to call the get data. In the get data, what I written here, ID is equal to 502, name is equal to Sriram. Before that, what is the ID value? 501 in the S1 object. What is the name value? Sanjana. These two are replaced with 502 and Sriram. Okay, 502 and Sriram. Okay, that means I don't want this one. Okay, now we can run this program, main method, main program. Okay, I will call s1.display. ID is equal to 501 and what is the data given here? 501 and Sanjana, but you will get the output 502 and 0. Because of the first get data, S1 dot get data, set the Sriram and 501 and Sanjana. The second get data, okay, directly they given, I written there, ID is equal to 502, name is equal to Sriram. That means before that ID is, what is the ID value? 501. 501 has replaced with 502, Sanjana has replaced with Sriram. Okay, no need. Suppose you have the two methods in the one class with method overloading. Suppose using the S1 object, I will call the two parameterized method. Using S2, I will call the which method? No parameterized method. No parameterized method. No problem. Okay, no parameterized method. Okay, in the S1 object, here I given x is equal to 501, s star is equal to Sanjana. In S1 object, these two. In S2 object, which method is calling? No parameterized method is calling. In the no parameterized method, okay, what's the ID value in the S2 object? 502. In the ID name value in the S2 object, that is Sriram. Okay, that is Sriram. Now we can run this program. Why not one? And only one display here. You will call s2.display also. You'll get both. Run once again. Okay, in the S1 object 501 and Sanjana, S2 object 502 and Sriram. Okay, 502 and Sriram. Suppose finally what's the conclusion? The class having the more than one method with the same name with the differentiate of two with arguments and return type, that's called as method overloading. Okay, both methods are available in the class means you will call both methods with a single object. That's not a problem. Okay, S1 object I will call here two parameterized constructor. I skip the no parameterized constructor in the S1 object. In the S2 object, I skip the two parameterized constructor. Sorry, not constructor, method. Two parameterized method. I skip the two parameterized method. Okay, all the methods you can access means no need. Okay, here the S1 having the get data, two parameterized get data, no parameterized get data, and display. Okay, here by S1 with S1, two parameterized method get data and no parameterized display as called, but not no parameterized get data. As per S2, no parameterized get data and no parameter display has called, but not two parameterized get data. That's optional. Suppose here the scanner class having a lot of functions. Okay, that scanner class having a lot of functions. But here up to now I used only two methods, next int and next. Remaining methods never I call yet to be I never call. Having lot of methods in the scanner class. Okay, next one. Suppose I will write one more method that is s2 dot, okay, one more type of. Look here, void get data. I will take one more get data. Okay, now this is the student class object, student S. Now the what kind of argument it is? What kind of argument it is? Student S means this is a student class object. How do you call this? Go to main section, s2 dot get data. Already s1 is an object of student class. Okay, this is just like a copy. S2 dot with the help of method, how do you copy one object into another object means one object having its one state of object has copied into some other state, some other object state means by using method also you can do. Otherwise you will write it s2 dot s1 also. It is accepted in Java. S2 dot s1 is also, but with the help of method how can you do it means okay, s2 dot get data of s1 having the some data. Okay, s1 having the some data. This is the actual argument. What is the x1? Suppose x is equal to here 501 and str is equal to what is the str value? Suppose Sanjana. These two are copied into id is 501 and str is equal to Sanjana. Okay, now what is the state of s1? What is the state of s1? What's the state of S1 after executing? X is equal to 501, str is equal to Sanjana means what is the state of S1? S1 diamond type. What is the idea? 501 is Sanjana. Now the same values I have to copy in S2 with the help of get data. Okay, what is the argument here? S2 is the argument. S1 is an argument. The parameter is the object type. Which class object? Student class object. Okay, which class object? Student class object. Now we'll go to student class. How do you write it? Okay, now already S having the S. What is the S here? This is the S1. S1 has copied into S. What is the data in S1? ID and Sanjana. That ID and Sanjana has copied into S2 object. This is the get data method is calling in S2. Okay, now we'll write it ID is equal to S dot ID. Okay, S dot ID. Name is equal to okay, S dot name. Okay, S dot name. S1 having the actually in the main, S1 having the 501 and Sanjana. ID S1 ID is 501, S1 name is Sanjana. Okay, now in the S2 dot get data means now I am in which object? S2 object. Which method I am calling here? Get data method. Come to get data, that S is the S1 is a actual argument that is copied into formed argument student S. Okay, student S. Now S is the replacement of S1. The S1 is copied into S means S is the replacement of S1. Okay, S is the replacement of S1. Here I will write it S dot ID. What is S dot ID? That is equivalent to S1 dot ID. What is S1 dot ID? That is 501. That is assigned to this is the get data in which method, which object? S2 object. Now S2 object ID. Okay, we are at S2 object. No need to write S2. We cannot write it S2. In each object we are that is called as current object. In the current object, what is the ID value? What is the ID? That ID is assigned with okay S dot ID. Another object data has copied here. Another object is S1. S1 has copied into S. S dot ID is 501 that is assigned to ID. S2 dot ID. Don't write S2 dot ID. Here ID means that is S2 dot ID because of we are in the S2. We are in the S2 object. The method is executed in which object that is called as a current object. The current object itself having the ID. ID is equal to S1 dot ID. Name is equal to S dot name. S1 dot name is assigned to S2 dot name. Okay, S2 dot name. Okay, now we can run this program. S1 dot display and S2 dot display.